Needs a hoover. Might clean the outside. Joke. Right. Good evening guys and welcome back to another video. I'm just going to do the 5 things that I love, or I'm beginning to love, about the Clio 197. If you haven't been on my channel before and you don't know me or what I do the videos for, I have owned a 182 for about 5 years and I'm just using a 197 for about 6 months when I sort a few little bits out on my 182. So yeah, I am beginning to love it, admittedly. I am enjoying it, and I just want to go through 5 things that I personally like about this car, and hopefully I can sort of share that with you guys. I will be doing 5 negatives as well, or maybe 6 or maybe 7, depending on how many I can come up with. But yes, 5 positives first of all, so let's get to it. So number 1, the very first thing I want to talk about is the seating position, and I like it in this car probably a little bit more than in the 182. It feels a little bit more where it should be, obviously over to the right, but you feel a little bit more centralised to the car, whereas in the 182 you feel like you're sat over quite a bit more. So the seating position in my opinion is a lot better. Also, in linking to point number 1, the seats are fully adjustable, so at the moment I'm sort of all the way down, but you can go all the way up by annoyingly pulling forever and you'll pump yourself all the way up. So obviously if your legs aren't quite as long, you're a little bit smaller, you can pump yourself all the way up nice and high, and also brings you a little bit closer to the steering wheel and up. Obviously in this position here, I think not on all the cars, but on the full fat edition, this one is, so you get the keyless entry, but you also get the adjustable steering column. So if I was obviously to sit higher, I can raise the steering wheel up, lock it in again, and that's a better height, so I can see all the dials all nice and good and all pretty. But I obviously have mine lower, and my seat is right at the bottom, as low as it can go. These standard seats as well are really comfortable. They hug me really nicely. I haven't been in a car with the newer Recaros that go into these cars. I think they're the same as the Megane ones. I haven't sat in any of those, so I can't compare. But obviously in comparison to my sort of Recaros in my 182, they feel nice, they feel decent. But yeah, that's point number 1 anyway. The seats, position, adjustment and everything, I like that. So point number 2 is the gearbox feel. So coming to the gearbox, well, the gear stick feel I suppose, rather than the gearbox feel. Excuse my car, it's a little bit dirty. But with the shifter itself, if you have a 182 or a 172, you know particularly that it is extra loose. Whether it's out of gear, it feels like it's throwing all itself either way. In gear, it wobbles like mad as well. Obviously if you play with it, it should stay still when you're driving, but yeah. In this car, it's as solid as anything. There's not a lot of play to either side. And obviously into the gear, there's very little and minimal movement there as well. So it's going to be really weird for me going back to the 182. 1, only having 5 gears, I'm slowly getting used to the whole 6 gear thing. Sometimes when I'm in 6, I think I'm in 4th, so I go to change to 5th to go up a gear, but I'm already in 6th. So no, just been me being stupid. I don't know if you guys ever get that, but yeah, 6 gears is quite cool, but just still got to get used to it a little bit. But the feel of the gearbox is amazing. Apparently with a dog bone mount in the 182, I can get sort of the same feel or a better feel from the gearbox, and it makes it all a little bit more solid up top, but we'll see. But yes, that is definitely a massive positive for me, is the gearbox feel. I know there's a slight con of crunching, but with all Clios I believe, even the 182, which I had as well, the gearbox is something to watch out for. So yes, if you're buying a Clio, watch out for the gearbox. That's obviously a massive point. If you've done any research before buying the car, you should know that. But yeah, gearbox is a positive. That's number 2. The light's still on. I don't know what it is about point number 3, but the pedal positioning just seems better. I don't know what it is about it. I haven't really referred back to the 182 to kind of compare, but there's something about the pedals themselves that just makes it feel better. Whether it's that it's easier to do a bit of like heel and toe, which I try. I've tried a bit more left foot braking as well, just to try and practice a little bit, because it always intrigues me when I watch like driving videos and they show their footwork. It just fascinates me when they're using their left foot to brake. So that's one thing that I want to slowly improve. Just don't know, there's something about the general feel of these pedals in this car. Yeah, I just like them. I just think that's a big positive for me, is the pedals. So pretty much the whole driving position and feel, gear stick, pedals, steering wheel, sort of a little point I'm going to add on. It's similar to the 182, it just feels maybe a little bit too big and looks a little bit odd, but it's alright. It feels nice when you're driving, so it's not too bad. Number 4 is the ease and sort of simplicity of the keyless entry. With the French electrics, I'm not quite sure how this lasts up over time, but obviously this car's done now, what, 80,000 miles, and admittedly these key cards are new. I didn't have the old ones because Bradley swapped them out because the battery, the last owner put too big of a battery in, I think, and then it made the card start going wrong when you put the proper battery in it. So don't know what happened, but he got 2 new cards and they seem to be working, and I don't seem to get any problems with them. It locks properly, it unlocks fine when you come with a keyless entry. But yeah, I think that's a big point. I actually really like it. At first it was weird not to put a key in a twisted key, but it's nice just to leave it in your pocket, come and get in the car, start it up without sticking a key in, get out, lock it as you walk away. It's just easy and just feels, yeah, there's a big positive for me about this car. The keyless entry is decent. A lot of people I know like the whole key thing, but I don't know, that's decent. That's probably one thing I'm going to miss when I go back to the 182, is having to have a key and not just leave that little card in my pocket. Easy. I'm not quite sure whether it locks itself if you walk away. I never trust it, so I always click the button to lock it, sorry, to make sure everything's good and safe. But yeah, that's something I need to research maybe a little bit more. But keyless entry and keyless start is a big positive for me. The fifth one is the general feel of driving. You feel like in this car a lot more planted to the road, a lot more safe. You just feel like you can corner as fast as you like and it's not gonna drift away. It feels really good. But on the same side, sometimes when you go out and just want to go for it, even if I turn, say, traction control off in this car, it doesn't seem to want to wheel spin or anything like that. Whereas in the 182, I turn traction control off and it would just go mad. It just turns into a whole different car. Whereas this car, yeah, feels a little bit more planted, a little bit more secure. I guess that's just maybe because of the slightly wider body frame. We've got the beautiful spoiler on the back and stuff like that. That might help, but yeah, it generally feels like it doesn't want to kill me as much as the 182 did, which is a positive and a negative in some respects of this car. But yeah, the general feel of the drive is definitely a lot better, a lot more mature, let's say. They always say that this car is the next one up in maturity from the 182, but yeah, I still don't think it's beating the 182 in my mind. But that's all for the positives for now. I kept it to 5. I didn't want to go too much into detail, and I did squeeze quite a few into a couple of points just to kind of bulk that point out a little bit. I didn't want to go, oh, just seating position or steering wheel column adjustment, stuff like that. I thought I'd squeeze them all in and make actually good big points, hopefully. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. Like it as always if you can, or dislike it if you didn't like it. Comment and subscribe if you are new. Thanks for tuning in, and cheers.